We're talking about the marriage of the mind and the body today. For the next 15 minutes, we have got the most amazing functional nutritionist in Charleston, Alexa Aboudaram. Thank you for joining.
You are so welcome. Very happy to be here with you.
Yes. And if you guys out there see a resemblance, we're also actually sisters. So the amazing, the amazing family genes run strong in the helping profession in our family. So I'm Landry Ethredge. I'm a therapist on James Island. I run Ethredge Counseling Group. We work with women who want to create change in their lives through weekly counseling. And Alexa Aboudaram, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. I'm Alexa Aboudaram. There's a little echo on this. I wonder how I can fix that. I have a nutrition coaching called Navigating Nutrients. I am an FNTP, which is basically a functional nutritionist. And I'm located in Charleston, just like Landry is, but I work, since COVID, I work solely virtually, so I have clients everywhere.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I know with my counseling clients, a lot of my clients come to me because not necessarily this is the reason they're coming to me, but they also struggle with sleep or frustrations about their weight or mood swings or anxiety and depression. And what I talk with my clients a lot about is how what they eat and their other habits that don't really seem mental health related often have a really strong impact on how they feel. And of course, you actually have training in nutrition and all of those things. That's not necessarily what I do. And I've certainly recommended a lot of my clients work with you because that's so crucial. If you're wanting to feel better mentally and emotionally, you kind of have to address your physical body too. There's like basic needs that every human has.
Yeah. And I think that if, if you have tried to eat, healthier or drink more water, then you can probably attest to the fact that you felt better during that time. But one of the hardest things is to stick to that. But yes, I think we all know that we are what we eat, like we are going to feel better if we're eating healthier things. So yeah, I think it's really important to bring that element into like mental health, so what you're doing. But something to bring up is like one of the things is we all know that we should eat healthy or maybe implement some of the things that your clients implement. I don't know what that is, maybe deep breathing, something like that. But helping them actually implement it on a day-to-day basis and for the long term is something that I focus on because we all know that we should be doing certain things, but most of us aren't.
Yes. And that is something I've been really impressed with as you've like kind of talked about, your work with clients that you actually incorporate. Cause I feel like there's a lot of people, I don't know, not to hate on personal trainers, that personal trainers are awesome, but some people out there maybe only address the body, but like not really talking about how to stick with habits. And I feel like you do a good job of kind of taking shame out of the equation, like not beating yourself up about it, or like, if I don't do this every day, then I don't care about my body, or I don't know. I feel like you have a really healthy view and you help clients have a healthy view that isn't like shame based or like, I don't know, adding more stress.
Right. Yeah. I mean, shame doesn't have any place when it comes to food. Shame should have, be nowhere around that situation. Eating is a very emotional thing, like we eat at birthday parties. We like to eat in big groups with family members. Like food is wrapped up in emotions and like mental, our mental part of our bodies. So yeah, definitely I like to focus on creating like habits, really, really easy habits, one at a time, and really leave the restrictions and you have to do this every day. Calorie counting, leave that far behind. That doesn't have any place in a healthy, healthy lifestyle.
I love that. That's another thing I think I hear a lot of people like, you need to eat for fuel. Food is just fuel. But I love that you're saying like, well, food's a lot more than, I mean, yeah, of course it's fuel, but it's a lot more than that. You have to kind of like take the whole broad picture. I don't know. What do you have clients do when they first start? Like, do you have something that like every client is going to do XYZ, or like, is it totally tailored to each person, or like, I don't know. What does that look like for somebody if they were going to work with you?
First, I just want to give the tip of, since food is an emotional thing, and, we want to say you should not emotionally eat, but we do. And that's natural and that's okay. But if you have like a certain guilty pleasure, see if there's a healthier version to that guilty pleasure. Like I had a client who loved apple fritters. Okay, so they would get like store-bought apple fritters all the time. And then I had them start making a healthier version of that. So they still got their apple fritters, but they got some oatmeal and some flaxseed and some coconut oil, a healthy version of that. So that's a good
love
tip.
It. I love it. So you don't have to just cut out every fun thing in your life.
Exactly. Yes, I'm all about, like I still eat my chocolate chip cookies and ice cream, things like this.
Well, I'm your sister, so I know you do. But
Yes,
also
I love blueberry muffins and chocolate chip cookies are my.
Well, I like what you're saying, like small habits. I'm also all about that. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. But I also talk to my clients about like baby steps. Like this, we're not in a sprint. Like we don't need to make these large overhauls. Let's take these tiny little baby steps. We don't need to totally try to revolutionize our life in a week. Like do the really, really, really tiny thing. A lot of times when I have clients like setting a goal, they'll set these goals that are just so huge. I'm like, no. We're going to set a baby step. And then they sort of suggest what they think is a baby step. And I'm like, even that's too big. Like we start small and consistent on the little things. And those are the things that have the biggest impact, in my opinion. I feel like everything I've accomplished in my life is because I was taking baby steps, and I just did one of those baby steps at a time. But
yeah, it's totally okay for it to take, it's a journey. I tell my client, like it took you a long time to get where you are now, and it's going to take a long time to get to maybe, to your goal weight or whatever your goal energy level is. So let's, one step at a time. But yeah, there's definitely some really easy baby steps that I have my clients do when they first work with me. And a lot of times they are incorporated in their goals. So that would be just taking a walk every day, 20 minutes, not an hour, not an hour and a half. Can you get 20 minutes of walking in every day? And widely enough, that's pretty challenging right there.
That's
just
funny,
just to put your shoes on, get out the door for 20 minutes. But science shows that, that makes you happier, that hits your dopamine level, or that gets your dopamine, going, along with obviously getting you physically healthier. But yeah, getting a 20-minute walk in every day and drinking water. And I can give you a little formula for people to know how much water they should be drinking.
Tell me, because let me show you my water jug that I've been carrying around. I bought this massive jug.
Nice.
I'm one of those people, you know. But yeah, what's the golden
Yeah,
ratio?
there's a lot of noise out there of like how much to drink, like a gallon a day, or you only need to drink when you feel thirsty, all this. But the tried and true formula is you take your weight in pounds and divide it by 2, cut it in half, and whatever that number is, you need to be drinking that much in ounces.
Okay, so
right?
let's say I weigh. Let's say I will not be telling you y'all how much I weigh, but we'll just say I weigh 150 because that's an easy number, or 140. So what is that? What's half of that? 56, 7. So that's 70.
Mm-hmm.
So you would be drinking
70 ounces a day.
70 ounces a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not that much. And then if you're drinking caffeine on top of that, you do need to up your water intake a little bit more because caffeine is dehydrating. Caffeine takes away your nutrients and your hydration. So you need to add a little bit more water in if you're going to be drinking your coffee.
Yes. So I know that because after I drink coffee, my eyes get really dry.
Oh.
I know, it's like this very immediate response that my eyes get dry. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but
I know caffeine has impacts on our mental mental state as well. Yeah. Do you have any tips on that?
Yeah. Okay. So this is
water.
Something drinking our water. I generally tell people if you struggle with anxiety at all, we need to get rid of the caffeine. It's just not helpful. It's going to send you on a roller coaster. It's just bad news. And if you struggle with depression at all, no alcohol. We just need to take that out of the equation too, because even if you don't struggle with depression at all, but you're drinking, but you do include alcohol in your week, that is going to mess with your emotions. So I do sort of and of course, we live life, and I don't want to tell people you can't enjoy things, but as a sort of a rule of thumb, I say if you're struggling with anxiety, which is so funny to me because in grad school, actually, I would drink coffee all day long, and I was so anxious, and took me a while to put the two together that, oh my gosh, maybe the reason I'm having mild panic attacks in my afternoon classes is because I've had 5 cups of coffee already today. I wasn't really aware of how much these things affect how we feel. And it took me a while to cut back on my caffeine. But once I did, I really saw a drastic change in my anxiety. And so many of my clients are coming in with high anxiety, and are drinking caffeine in the morning on an empty stomach. I know you've got some things to say about that probably. Or are drinking, 1 or 2 alcoholic drinks in the evening. Well, those 2 things, alcohol is going to mess up your sleep. Alcohol is going to absolutely increase your anxiety and depression, even if you don't usually struggle with those things. So those are 2 things I do encourage my clients to be aware of. And again, I'm not saying never drink caffeine again or never have a cocktail, but just be mindful of those things. And if you already struggle with those anxiety and depression, or panic attacks, a lot of my clients come in with panic attacks, then that's something to just be conscious of. You don't want to use those things and start creating more problems for yourself. Yeah, I don't know so much about the science side of it, but I've definitely seen that strong correlation. And it also affects your sleep. So if you're drinking caffeine and you're not getting good sleep, I used to work at a psychiatric hospital, and this is anecdotal, this is just my experience, what I observed, but most of the patients who were coming in for inpatient treatment hadn't been sleeping. That was probably one of the most common things I saw with patients coming in is lack of sleep or lack of consistent sleep. They were coming in, hadn't slept for a day or 2 or 3 or 4 days at a time, and were coming in patient. So sleep is just so crucial. I can't hear you. Is it sound is off, I think. Wonder why. Oh, if you have your Zoom open, maybe. We've been having some technical difficulties today. We've been trying out. We were trying to do Zoom and Facebook, and we've had. It's been a learning curve for both of us today. But let's see if I can get her back online. Let's see. Send invite. There you are. She's back. Do we have sound though? But I will say, and while Allie's getting back on, or Alexa, sorry, I call her by the family name Allie sometimes. Alexa is getting back on. I will let you know her website is Navigating Nutrients, and she's on, I think you're back, maternity leave right now. I was just saying, if people want to reach you, they can check out your website, navigatingnutrients.com.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You're back. Yes.
Yes, navigatingnutrients.com. Yeah, so I had a baby on Christmas Eve. So I am still in the midst of figuring out motherhood, which has been a wild ride. But I will be back in probably July. So a few more months. But I see people in person, as well as if you're more of the kind of person who just wants to go through a virtual course. I have a 45-day virtual course available as well.
And that's awesome too, if like people don't feel like they can commit to like a weekly thing with you, or they just want to do something on the side that's like on their own timing. That's really cool. I think that you have a course that people can go through, self-paced.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody's different, and everyone, has availability, different kind of availability in their lives. So, and what about you, Landry? If somebody wants to work with you, how do they get to you?
If you want to work with me, or I have another therapist on staff, Dr. Etta Gant. If you are interested in doing, getting started with therapy, either maybe you've like tried it when you were a kid, and maybe you were forced to go as a kid and it wasn't a great experience, but you're willing to try it again as an adult, please reach out to me. Yeah, my website is LandryEthredge.com. You can just search Landry and I'll pop up. There aren't a lot of Landrys around. My name is, it's spelled Landrie, and you can fill out an interest form. And through that interest form, we'll schedule a consultation, and we can just chat about what you think you might want to work on. If you don't really know what you want to work on, that's totally fine too. We'll figure it out together. Sometimes people are like, I don't know. I just want to feel better. And then like, that's a great place to start. Or I don't know. I just hear people talking about therapy all the time, and I feel like maybe I should try it. Great. Let's go.
Yeah. I think one of the things that stopped me from going to therapy for a long time is like thinking, oh, well, they're probably going to laugh at me because they're going to be like, why are you here? Nothing's wrong with you.
Yes, I've heard that before too. I've had clients before be like, I feel like I'm wasting your time. I'm like, absolutely not. If you're here and want to feel better, or want to just like improve your life, or just need somebody to talk to who isn't your husband or your mom, or I'm here for you. I will certainly, I love to work with people who have like a mental health diagnosis, absolutely, but also for people who don't and feel like, I don't don't have trauma. I just want to talk to somebody. I would just want to try it out. That's awesome.
I will say that it's, once I started going, I was like, wow, this is amazing that someone is asking me all the right questions. Like, these are all the questions that I wanted someone to ask me, to draw out of me things that I knew were in there that I wanted to come up, but I didn't know how to get them up. So just having someone know what questions to ask, I think is a big thing.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, for a lot of us, we've never had that kind of experience where it's, I mean, yeah, therapy is like, it's a one-sided relationship, right? Like you're not asking your therapist about their day, right? So you've never really had that like full attention on you with another person who isn't demanding that attention back, you know? And it can be so healing. I mean, I've gone to therapy. I absolutely swear by it personally and professionally. And it's great. I think everybody should try it at least once, you know? Yeah.
So what our takeaways are: go to therapy, drink your water, take your 20-minute walk.
100%. All of those things. I know. And so many of the things that like are good for your mental, emotional health are also good for your physical health and vice versa. Of course, right? Because we're one human being. We're not these separate parts. They aren't separate. They're really integrated.
Yeah.
So, nutrition and mental health counseling really go well. Thank you so much for chatting with me. And I love your background also.
Thank you.
And
the wall of fake plants.
Wall of fake plants. So I'd love to do this again. And anybody listening, if you guys, have any particular questions, shoot them over to me, and maybe we can schedule another one with you, Alexa, and learn more about all the things that you're doing over there.
Yeah. Let's get a health and wellness community going in Charleston.
Yes. All right. I love it. Okay. Well, have a wonderful day.
You too.
And I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.